Hi guys, this is Mike and this will be an honest review of the KMA machine's Astrospurt PHASER, or Junction Gate Field Effect PHASER as they call it. Before we start, I have to tell you that first of all, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and I hope you like this video enough so you consider subscribing, especially because currently I'm working on a big shootout between 12, yes, you heard that right, 12 different phaser pedals, and in this video I will go into a lot of depth, a lot of detail. I will try to answer a lot of questions and hopefully even find my new favorite phaser pedal. So if you are interested in phaser pedals, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. And speaking about the KMA machine's Astrospurt, I have to tell you, actually this might be a contender for the best phaser that I ever heard. There are so many cool things going on this phaser, so many things that I like, but since this is an honest review, there are a couple of things that I don't like and I want to tell you about them as well. So first of all, what do I like? It's handmade in Germany, quality parts, feels very good, quality of build is very solid. We have a mix knob, which is unusual for phasers, and I really appreciate that. Signal is basically the volume level of your whole signal, so guitar plus effect, which we'll talk about later. We have a depth control, which is also cool, and spurt, as they call it, is your rate or speed control, right? Then we have the emphasis here, and we'll talk about that later, because this, I feel, is a whole new effect section. It basically introduces an oscillated signal to your signal, and that's so cool, and I really like that, right? Things that I don't like, I can tell you beforehand. I mean, the size is a little bit, it takes some time to get used to. It's definitely bigger than your standard, either, small effect pedal or even your standard like effect pedal, right? Yeah, it's wider than that. So you need more space on your pedal board. But yeah, sound is paramount, and let's actually try that out. Okay, so I hooked up my guitar, which is an LTD EC1000 with Mark Holcomb humbucker pickups, which are pretty hot. This is the clean sound. And the first thing that I have to tell you is that from the get-go, in the factory setting, this pedal couldn't handle these very hot humbuckers. Fortunately, they give you the opportunity on the back here, when you screw it open, the back cover, to actually regulate the gain amount of this pedal, right? So I set the signal from the factory setting, basically 12 o'clock was unity volume, and I set it so that unity volume is now actually at 3 o'clock, which gives me more headroom and which allows this humbucker to not distort, if that makes any sense, right? Yeah, so that's pretty cool that you have the option to do that. Another thing that I really like on this pedal. And the mix control, I have to tell you one thing before we start. It works differently than on all the other pedals that I have and know, basically. All the way to the right is not, 100% wet, but it's actually the opposite. All the way to the right is 100% dry. Right? All the way to the left is 100% wet, and in the middle is actually the loudest signal, which I reckon, it's 50-50, which I reckon is because, all the way to the right you just have your clean guitar, all the way to the left you have your phased guitar, but in the middle you have both at the same time, right? So you have double the amount, double the signal, okay? So let me actually check quickly if we are at unity gain. Yeah, as I said, 3 o'clock, pretty much unity gain. Okay, so now if you want a standard phasing sound, very simple, set the mix to like 2 o'clock or something. Let's put the depth all the way down. Let's make it a slower setting. Let's see what happens. Right? right? So a beautiful sounding phaser sound from the get-go without any change in tone, unlike the MXR phaser pedals that definitely add some highs and boost the volume. Not so on this pedal, totally transparent, really like that sound. Now we have 50-50. Right, so that is pretty cool. Let's see how it sounds 100% wet. Right, so even 100% wet isn't that strong, because as I said before, you need both signals to really have the strongest effect, right? Let's turn the rate up. Yeah, as mentioned, a beautiful, very cool sounding phaser pedal from the get-go. Sounds just as nice as any MXR script logo phaser. It's not as deep maybe as the block phasers from MXR, even with the depth all the way down, but then, the block MXR phasers are almost overkill. Right, so this has been the standard phasing, and you can totally use this phaser pedal just as it is right now, right? But what's really cool, and what I mentioned before, is the whole emphasis function, right? So this basically gives the signal a second sound, or a third sound if you will, which is an oscillated, almost overdriven sound. And even if I just turn it on, you'll hear it. And now the beauty of this pedal is you can individually basically set the levels of your clean guitar, your effects guitar, and the emphasis, and you can create unbelievably cool stuff. So let's see how that works out if I just fiddle around with the knobs here. Let me try to overdo it. So I don't know about you, but to me this sounds awesome, just in comparison to clean guitar without any effect. It's just adds so much harmonic texture to the signal. It's unbelievable. And the really cool thing, as mentioned like 5 times already, is that you have controls for everything. So that's really cool. If I have the feeling we have too much of this oscillation, just turn it down, right? Let's actually try something like that. Volume to unity, mix to 3 o'clock, depth here, emphasis here. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, I absolutely love it. To be honest, this could be a part of a signature sound if you would find a really nice setting. I mean, I really like this one, actually. That was a pretty cool sound. That would be good enough for me to be like an always on effect. If I have it too much, then I just put it down. Let me try to give you some really whacked out sounds. Might sound a little bit harsh. This is an all analog pedal, by the way, so it's not, like censored to be always nice sounding. There are some frequencies that might actually be a little bit piercing, but let's see what happens. Yeah, I really like that. I could spend hours on this thing. And the good thing is it always sounds analog. It sounds real. It's not a digital effect. And as mentioned before, you can do completely normal phasing as well, as I showed before, but you can do this whacked out stuff. Let me actually try to engage the delay and let's see what happens there. Just the last sample, I'm already finished. Wow. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I really like stuff like that. You know, this is just a couple of bucks more expensive than the MXR Phase 90 or the 95. You know, you can't really put down what it does exactly. It's always kind of like a guessing game, which is the cool thing on the emphasis function, because it forces you to actually work with the pedal. But the sounds you can get out of that are awesome, you know, and mixed in just like a little bit could totally be like your always on pedal. And by the way, I'm not paid by KMA machines. There's no relation. I bought this for my own money. And yeah, so this is definitely a contender for my, you know, my favorite phaser pedal of all times. It's a gorgeous sounding phaser pedal, and if you are into soundscapes or anything, definitely give it a try. For the rest of you, I suggest you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because as mentioned in the intro, this will be a part of the big 12 phaser shootout that I'm currently working on, and there we can really compare this pedal to all the other, you know, the MXRs and the Walrus Audio and all the Strymons and all that stuff, right? So that will be very interesting, but who knows, maybe this actually is the best phaser pedal that I ever played and the best out of these 12. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the sounds here. And yeah, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.
With two eyes.